So what we have for today is another historical fiction by Patti Callahan, Henry, The Secret Book of Flora Lea. So for this story, this is the book cover. So for this novel, we follow Hazel, our main character, and Flora, but the central point revolves around Hazel. So this is set during World War II. The setting is in London. So during World War II in London, at the first chapter, I'm not going to spoil anything. At the start of the chapter, they lost the father because of the war, and because of the invasion, because of the attacks, because of the bombing, the children have to be sent on the countryside. So Hazel and Flora, they have to be sent to the countryside where the government um, the government assumes it is safe from the war. So I am saying assumes because put it into perspective. Let us say the war happens today, um, and you have little kids, and the government say, in order to protect your children, we have to take away your children and send them to a different place. So that is what happens in this story. So I think it's up for debate because why are you going to listen to the government? And at this time around, many people don't trust the government. So there is that philosophical debate going on in the story. But at this during World War II, they were compliant about it. So Hazel and Flora went to the countryside for their safety. Um, so the parent agree about this, and throughout the book, there was some background actual event of World War II, but we don't see much of that event. You are following Hazel in the countryside, and years later, um, after the war, so Hazel and Flora, so they met. They met the family that adopted them. They were kind, they were hospitable, and they were welcoming um, to Hazel and Flora. So Hazel felt welcome. There was also a romance plot point here. So Hazel met someone else. So I'm not going to spoil anything. So she met someone else on the countryside. But the main premise of this story is about Flora Lea, Hazel's sister. So um, in order to in order to 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 survive or to survive this calamity, Hazel is telling stories to Flora. So she is entertaining her sister to distract her from the war, to distract her from missing her mother and from the loss of their father. So the title of the story of that story is Whisperwood. So Whisperwood, and that Whisperwood, this is almost the same setting. So there were in the story of that Whisperwood, River of Stars. So it is almost like this, and this book cover reveals more about the story. So Hazel is telling a story to her sister in order to distract her from the war. Um, so they were in the countryside, and but one day something happened. So an accident happened, and Flora disappeared. So Flora disappeared. Hazel looked after her. The mother looked after her. Everyone did. So you can imagine the trauma and the guilt that Hazel had because Hazel was supposed to be looking for Flora. So that is the premise of the story and why you should read the book. So what happened to Flora? Where is she? It sounds like a thriller, a suspense, a detective novel, but it's far from that. Um, so so that's what the novel is all about. So 20 years later, Hazel now works in a bookshop. So she works in a bookshop and she received a illustration illustration um, illustration a book that discuss about Whisperwood. So again, let's go back to 20 years ago where Hazel tells a story to Flora and the title is Whisperwood. So only Flora and Hazel know about that story. 20 years later, in the bookshop, Hazel received a book similar to Whisperwood. So now, as a reader and as Hazel, you feel like whoever wrote that book has connection to it has connection to Flora. So Hazel, carrying that guilt for 20 years, has to search for that author. So that's what pushed the narrative of the book. Um, I'm not going to spoil anything about that. Um, so the things that I love about this, number one, and I cannot emphasize this, um, number one is the prose. So it's the writing style of Patti Callahan, Henry. I love it. This is a book that you slow down to read and to absorb the sentences. So let us say a different author, okay? The Secret Book of Flora Lea. So any author can write the story. So same story, same plot line, but the presentation and the prose is going to be different. So it differs from author to author. Some authors will have a lot of dialogue, some authors will have a lot of description, and some like Patti Callahan will have a lyrical prose to it. So I love the prose, the style of writing more than the story itself. Um, 80% in the book, um, we have the revelation. So we have the twist, we have the revelation. So that revelation is a little let down for me. So I feel like the author does not know where to bring the story. So um, the revelation at the end about what happened to Flora, it is a little let down for me. I am expecting from it, uh, more from the story because again, Hazel's working to find this author. So maybe the author will have some answer about her sister, but all along, I'm not going to say anything. Again, I love the prose, but the plot twist is a little letdown for me. What else? Ah, so this novel, it transitioned from 1960 and 1940. So the transition is seamless and it's smooth. So I love it. This is not the first book I had from Patti Callahan. So I read Surviving Savannah, which I also love. In that book and in this book, we follow two timelines. So um, and the transition is similar. So 1940 and then 1960 in this book. I forgot the year in Surviving Savannah, but that that's how the that's how the book is presented. So we see what happens in the past and the present day in this story. Um, if you like Hannah's book, you may want to read this. Another one because it tackles more about books, bookshops. We have bookshops, books. Uh, I'm thinking about Anthony Dover's book, but I forgot the title. And the other one is Stardust Sea. Stardust. It's about a library. So this story about it has a bookshop, library, books theme on it. So almost similar to. Let me just search that. Oh, it is Stardust Sea by Erin Morgenstern. So I also read that before. And for Anton Dower, ah, Cloud, it's Cloud Kukuland. So it's all about library. It has a library, books, library, and bookshops, authors. It plays a role on that book. So they mention a lot of authors, a lot of books from the past. The same thing with this with this novel. So overall, I give this 8 out of 10. It's not exactly my favorite, but again, I really enjoy reading it. So it's probably 9 out of 10. So I love it. I cannot wait to read more from the same author. So until next time.